welcome to the PPVG Gamescast. My name is Steve.
Rich.
Mo.
We are the passionate playing video gamers. In today's episode, we are going to discuss a possible Atari console that the CEO announced that they're back in the hardware business. We'll give our reactions, what we think about Atari coming back. Then we'll talk about the Destiny 2 controversy of being 30 FPS for both Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro. See if there's a little something sketchy going on in the background. We'll give our opinions on that. But before we get into that, we'll talk about the Xbox One X and who the fuck is that console for. We've had over a week to try and comprehend that press conference from Microsoft. So we'll give our thoughts of who is going to actually be marketed for this console and who's going to buy it. Besides me. You have one customer, and I'm admitting I'm a fucking idiot for buying it.
One total. Even Phil Spencer won't buy it.
But we will start with our E3 2017 awards. We have three categories. The PPVG, the very prestigious PPVG E3 awards. We are going to cover Best Cinematic Trailer, Biggest Surprise, and our Game of Show. So let's start on a positive note. What was your biggest surprise at E3 2017? We'll start with you, Mo. Biggest surprise?
It was Monster Hunter.
Yep, he was texting immediately. Oh my god! Oh my god, it's coming back to Sony!
Yep, I was a schoolgirl.
So why Monster Hunter over the other surprises that they announced?
It's been so long since they were on a bigger, on the three that game is going on all consoles, just so everybody knows. But it's been so long since they've been on like Xbox or PlayStation that it's always been like just Nintendo like the 3DSs in particulars, and I feel like the 3DS never took advantage of the actual. The graphics are just too overhauled, and also the gameplay. I feel like the bigger consoles would have benefited more from those games. I know that they tried to put it on the Wii and Wii U. I know they were transitioning from the 3DS ones, but it didn't do it a lot of justice because all they did was just port it over. They didn't really upgrade or do anything technical with it.
What was the last console it was on?
PlayStation 2.
It was on the PS2?
Besides the
3DS.
The 3DS and Wii.
An actual
like
game
that.
console.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to call
the Wii, okay.
If you
for once it wasn't me saying it.
It's going Rich, but the power of the Wii for a game like Monster Hunter.
Yeah. So, but
Rich, no guys.
It started on PlayStation, so.
That's why
I said.
Finally getting some traction. He's finally learning.
But I was like, if you want to call that a console, but it was PlayStation 2.
Okay. And you're ready, 2018 Monster Hunter, since XX is only in.
Ready.
Japan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not coming here to the
States.
States.
It's a big letdown. But I get the world one, so I'm happy.
So your biggest surprise of E3 2017 Monster Hunter coming. And Rich, what was your biggest surprise?
I don't want to be repeating last week, and I don't want to be the downer, but I think everybody knows from last week what my biggest surprise was. Microsoft doesn't have a plan. That was my biggest surprise.
So you actually thought they were going to have
their
shit together.
I was the conservative about what the X would be, but I thought that they would have a very clear direction of where they were going and how they were going to get there, and they would present that to us, and I don't think that any of that is true. I don't think they even know, so of course they can't communicate that to their customers or their developers because they don't fucking know either. So that was my biggest surprise is Microsoft the blind leading the blind. Yep.
You know what? I thought they were going to have their shit together too, and then
I think all of us did.
Yeah,
that was a huge, especially huge how they jumped the gun because they didn't want the paying public. They wanted the press. They wanted to make sure that they controlled the stories and all that kind of stuff. And they obviously had talked to some of their partners, which is why they were doing little
over
teases.
a year they've been working with them.
But they were doing teases in other conferences of watch the Microsoft one tomorrow or later on, and you'll see the Anthem thing. And they didn't have. There's no plan. There's nothing. And like Mo kept saying, world exclusive. That doesn't mean Xbox exclusive. It just means this is the first time you saw the trailer.
Yeah.
That's not an exclusive. That's just the first time.
Yeah.
Marketing talk.
Yeah.
World exclusive.
Notice PlayStation didn't do that when they announced Monster Hunter.
Because they didn't have to. There's a reason why I
Just saying.
was so anti my apparent flag
But Microsoft was trying to
stuff.
hit that home, as in, what
Yeah.
exclusives do you have? Well, we'll just put it up on a little screen and say exclusive. Hey, look how many exclusives
Sea
we
of
have.
Thieves.
Yeah. Crackdown 3. So a few surprises that I had E3. Not my top one, but number 3 for me was Metro Exodus. That was a big surprise. Looks very good. More than likely, it will not look that good when it is released, but it got me excited. My number 2 biggest surprise, Skull and Bones from Ubisoft. That pirate game got me very excited. More than fucking Sea of Thieves, which we talked last week. Mo and I will be doing Skull and Bones as pirates.
Did you guys see the meme where they don't know how to eat a banana in that game?
in Sea of Thieves?
He's carrying a banana, and he's got the end, where you'd start peeling it towards him, and he keeps doing this, like you're just going to eat it with... It's not peeled or anything, and that's how you regain health. Like, great, that's a perfect thing to put in your gameplay.
Eat a banana.
Shows that you haven't finished any part of this game, and you've been in development hell for how many years now?
Apparently, Xbox thinks pirates don't give a shit. They just eat bananas.
But my biggest surprise is BioWare Anthem. I was actually really excited from that gameplay. I know the teaser didn't really do much from EA. I know you guys were really frustrated, I should say.
Yeah.
Not upset, I would say more frustrated about it. But they finally showed it. That's how they ended the Microsoft press conference. And in BioWare, I trust, even though after the Mass Effect Andromeda debacle,
Yeah.
I'll give one out. It's fine.
Not just one, but I get your point.
I'll do the other BioWare. But Anthem looks beautiful. I'm a shared universe, something I don't really partake in, but I think that's something I might spend some hours. But it was very like a 5 to 8 minute clip gameplay.
I went back and saw that gameplay, and at the very beginning when you're in the town, that guy's face is ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, very. Like, you can tell something was amiss there. It just doesn't look...
He's from the Andromeda Galaxy.
Yeah.
Do you not know where this is going?
I was very upset by it.
It's not his fault. His face is tired.
Shepard was in the background. He still
I
lives.
could probably see... Yeah.
He's in the universe. Yeah. But Anthem got me excited. We'll see more next year. Probably next fall is when it will be released. But that was my biggest surprise, was Anthem at the Xbox press conference. So the next award, the PVVG E3 2017 award, Best Cinematic Trailer. And Rich, Best Cinematic Trailer.
I'll be honest, I can't think of one. I was not blown away by anything this year. I would say probably Metro, because I don't think that was gameplay. It did really give me proof of concept. I did really like that. Kingdom Hearts, they were showing some newer stuff, but I was already kind of sold on that. And it's kind of a trailer of gameplay.
No.
So I don't really have anything that's actually like a trailer. It all had some gameplay, and it all kind of just ran together.
It looked like you were positive on Wolfenstein 2. Was that something?
Yeah, but I consider that a lot of gameplay. So there's a lot of cinematic stuff in there too, but they were showing a lot of mechanics to it. That's how I took that.
Okay, so I understand the confusion of it. Such as like Spider-Man, I consider that more of a gameplay
Because that was like a 20-minute
than
a demo.
than anything, more of a demo.
Yeah.
Because some trailers, they usually have gameplay involved in it. Wolfenstein, I would consider, more of a trailer and more of a cinematic.
Yeah.
It's not just 8 minutes of someone playing. But I can see there was some gameplay with the Wolfenstein, but you weren't really blown away.
I don't think there was really anything that was blowing away. I mean, it's not like I'm not buying anything or I'm not looking forward to stuff, but for the most part, the stuff I was looking forward to, I was already looking forward to.
Yeah.
You just either put a little bit of extra sprinkles on top of that ice cream or whatever, but there's nothing. There's not really anything that wasn't somewhat on my radar that is now suddenly on my radar. Other than maybe Wolfenstein.
You didn't like the pig and the monkey?
Beyond Good and Evil?
The pig and the monkey?
I was already down for Beyond Good and Evil. And Mitch Dwyer, he needs to eat his mug on camera. He said before, he tweeted out that if they end the Ubisoft conference with Beyond Good and Evil 2, I will eat my mug live on camera.
Who said that?
Mitch Dwyer from IGN. and he didn't do it, but that's exactly what happened. So everybody on net is calling him out on it. So I'm going to add to that voice. Do it, bitch. I mean Mitch. I meant Mitch.
Ooh, it is on.
I'm not a Mitch Dwyer fan. I think he's kind of redundant.
My best cinematic trailer, I'll go. My number 2 was actually a game that I'm not really going to purchase, but I was actually very impressed. Was The Evil Within 2. I really liked that trailer. It was very artistic design, and again, him in like the white goo, and just how they did that entire trailer. It got me intrigued. It's just very busy fall, and I know you're gonna pick up The Evil Within 2.
Yep.
But you were already on board before that trailer.
Yeah, I
when
was
they hinted towards
already
it.
Team Evil Within.
Yeah. But that trailer I thought was really cool, how they did that. But my favorite trailer is actually God of War. I think they had a lot they had to do from last year when they showed him with his son just walking through. It looked beautiful. It showed some gameplay, but the trailer that they showed was a mix of sort of what the story might be, of an idea, and it showed some of that gameplay as well in that trailer. And I really like the direction that they're taking it. It got me even more excited for the game, but to show more of how that gameplay is going to exist different from any other God of War game that we played. Because it's all been more action-oriented, and the camera was a little higher up.
Yeah.
Compared to this game, it's more behind the shoulder, and it got me really excited. So that was actually my favorite trailer. And Mo, what was your cinematic trailer of E3 this year?
Mine was the Evil Within. I know that they try to show some gameplay in there for you, but it really didn't consist of a lot. It was more of, hey, you already saw this in you saw some of these characters in the first game, like the witch thing with the spider arms. She's creepy as shit, and they just showed her running at the camera, and that's all they showed. But they didn't show what she actually does, which was one of my scare moments of that first fucking game. Like, she's fucking terrifying, especially playing in the dark. So it was mostly just cinegraphic, like the trailer. That's all it was. Not a lot of gameplay. So I know how the game plays. It's good. I know they're gonna make this the same way that they made the first one. I don't know where the storyline goes from there though. So we'll see. And
what about State of Decay 2? I know you're excited. Were you not impressed with that trailer?
No, I wasn't. I thought it was okay.
This is fine.
Yeah, this is fine.
Like more of the same, but bigger
No,
and
she
better?
gets saved from zombies, and she gets in the back of the truck.
Yeah.
And she's just doing this crappy painted
I was
on.
like,
The funny thing is she's getting there's 5 or 10 zombies going at her.
And then they're all doing headshots around her. Like 4 guys open up fire, shooting this whole crowd that's surrounding her, and she gets in the back of the truck, and she has
This is fine. She's all happy.
I'm gonna have to rewatch it now.
Her face is just
it, but you would not be that cool with what just
She had
happened.
a smiley face emoji, it's weird. I was like, okay. You're about to get eaten. You're that happy.
But Evil Within 2 is the best cinematic trailer.
No.
Alright, now the final PBVG E3 award, our game of show. And I will go first. My game of show, starting with, my favorite game that I'm most looking forward to this fall is Shadow of War. So that's not my game of show. I was looking for something that I wasn't expecting and got me more excited. So the one game I'm looking forward to the most is Shadow of War, but my game of show is Super Mario Odyssey. The reason why is that cap, I think, is a game changer. And how you're going to, and we'll get to you, Rich. I think that is a game changer in the gameplay that I did watch. I watched about 20 minutes of gameplay of Super Mario Odyssey, and even that trailer itself showed you what you can do, 3 or 4 enemies, of how you can use your cap, and I thought it looked incredible. And even the gameplay as well that they had on the show floor, and the treehouse. I did watch that treehouse where they did show that 20-minute gameplay demo of him in the city.
Yeah.
And what he's able to do with the cap. I got me even more excited, something I wasn't expecting, and I do think it will be a game changer for that game. Rich, what was your comment about Super Mario Odyssey?
I was just going to make a joke about did it count since they weren't actually there, but Yeah, they were on the show floor,
Oh,
so
okay.
I do have to amend my joke was just a subtle dig. And I have to take it back because he did make a good point.
Like the Wii was not a game console, right?
I didn't make that comment.
Yeah, I think that's a question for another time. Is the Wii a legit game?
No. Answered.
And Mo, what was your game of show?
It's going to be God of War. Just what they showed. I'm excited to see where the story, how they connect this time frame to the last, and how they showed a few things with the gameplay, how he fights, how they didn't involve the little boy to transition so much that you're doing an escort mission. I love that they debunked that in a way. Hopefully they stay true to that, and we'll see what happens from there. So. Because that's what everybody was worried about, was that it was going to be an escort mission from start to finish.
8-hour long escort mission.
Not going to escort a son of a god, no. Or demigod, but he's a god.
Or son of a bitch.
Dude, we don't know the mother. That's very judgmental.
And Rich, what is your game of show?
I was going to say Far Cry, but they kind of released a lot of that stuff before, and then it was just a little bit extra on top, so I don't want to give it there because they'd already kind of spoiled us the week or two before that. So I'm going to go with Spider-Man. I think that was an effective trailer. I think that they were telling me everything I needed to know as a fan of the games, as a fan of the property, fan of the comics. They showed me enough. There's intriguing possibilities where the web swinging looked very similar to Spider-Man 2, but it still looked like they had done some new things with the different web types and stuff, so...
It was smooth.
Yeah.
It was very
That was my number 2. I had number 2 was Spider-Man. Holy shit. I think that blew everyone out of the water of those expectations. And I did research who Miles was.
Oh, really?
I had to do I've heard from you who Miles was.
I have to research for then.
Yeah.
The fighting...
You weren't there with me.
It was the fighting mechanics that got me. I was just like, holy shit, where he hits that guy off the edge and he like grabs him back and he like saves him. That type of shit, I thought it was... Because he could let him die. You gotta let him just go.
No, Spider-Man couldn't do that.
Well,
only the Man of Steel can do that. Not Superman, but the Man of Steel can do that. There's a subtle distinction in my head. Fuck you, Zack Snyder.
Too soon, man.
Dude, I didn't make any kind of other comments directly towards him and his directing capabilities. Nothing else about any stories come out about him or his family in the last month.
Rich is on full throttle tonight.
No, I'm laid back. I don't know what you're talking about.
Fuck you, Zack Snyder.
Is Josh Whedon gonna put in like an Avengers Easter egg in the background that no one will know?
No.
No.
I think that he's putting in the Hall of Justice, though, is the rumor today.
Yeah.
We'll see. Well, maybe he can direct Han Solo.
Wow. Can anybody direct Han Solo?
Harrison Ford cannot be direct, no. He just does his own thing and just shows up.
He's not in this movie.
Oh, I'm not seeing it then.
That would be funny if they put bookends. It stars with...
Shows Han Solo at the very
No, like how they
bottom
did the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. I remember when I was a boy, and it goes back, and now it's River Phoenix.
No, I don't.
Anyways,
No.
never mind.
So those are our E3 awards. All because of Zack Snyder. Way to go, Rich.
Son of a bitch.
Get us off topic.
I didn't make those movies. I said, don't do this to us. I watched Watchmen. Don't do this to us.
Those are our PBBG E3 awards. Please let us know in the comments below what your biggest surprise, what your best cinematic trailer, and what your game of show was for E3 this year.
And what the worst moment of Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice was for you. Because I think it was the beginning, middle, and end. So, all the way through.
The opening credits.
Oh, that was pretty bad. Yeah. James Olsen.
At E3, Microsoft finally unveiled Xbox Scorpio, which is the Xbox One X, releasing November 7th for $500. It is their 4K, native 4K, 6 teraflops.
I'm sorry, I was mimicking.
The same
No,
day.
it was a teraflop.
Crackdown 3 will be a launch game. They also showed Forza 7, Assassin's Creed, Shadow of War, that they showed will take advantage of the 4K. But we're going to discuss who the fuck is the Xbox One for.
Not me.
So we can
It's not for me.
organize this as there's a very small percentage of the market that has a 4K TV. So that already lowers the market. Because they tried to sell as in, oh, you get better capabilities, it'll look better on a 1080p.
Best on.
But that is not worth a $500 price tag when I can go into a retailer and buy it for $250, an Xbox One S. I can get it for $250, which comes with a 4K Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
So I don't really need... And then that 4K Blu-ray will upscale as well, Blu-ray, so upscale on a 1080p. So, small market already. How about for the PS4 players? Like, alright, they have a PS4 Pro already. Even though it's not native 4K, but still looks damn good. On 4K TVs with Horizon already looks great in 1080p.
Yeah.
And I just can't imagine how great that even looks. So they're not getting the Sony players because the exclusives that they showed are not enough for any Sony players. Like, oh, I need an Xbox One X. Assassin's Creed is multi-platform, so that's not going to get anyone. Shadow of War is multi-platform, and more than likely those would be upscaled on the PS4 Pro, so they're still going to look great. So not getting the Sony. And they just didn't show a need for Xbox One players to really jump in and how big of a difference it really makes. And it's really hard that we discuss is 4K is hard to show in a press conference. And that's why I really recommended one of my, so when we did a strategy episode about 2 or 3 weeks ago, as in if we're Microsoft, and I said, partner up with Best Buy, have these Xbox One X consoles, and play the demos for Shadow of War, Assassin's Creed, Forza, to show them what, and they still might do it before launch, because I know they did it for the PSVR, that they had those for you to play, but to see how big of a difference, if any, is 4K compared to 1080p. So, who the fuck is gonna buy the Xbox One X? Who's it for? How are they gonna market?
Now, once again, they're releasing the Xbox One X in November, correct?
November 7th.
So are they planning, are they thinking that people are going to go into Black Friday sales, get a 4K television, and this is how they're going to get their sales? Because it's releasing around November? Is that, I mean, I don't understand what the strategy was. Was there any involved? Like, why November 7th of all days?
So you can plan accordingly.
Crackdown 3. This one will be ready.
They want to own the story because that'll give them 2 or 3 weeks to get press out of, oh, look at how many people are thrilled with their purchase. That then Black Friday, you'll start convincing people that, yeah, I do need the TV 4K. And I need the X.
Because
go ahead.
No, I'll be the first one. So I'm getting the Xbox One X because I have a 4K TV.
Right.
If I did not have a 4K TV, I would tell Microsoft to go fuck themselves.
Go fuck yourselves.
No. I don't like. Not everybody's in the market for a 4K television when they just upgraded to what they originally already had as a TV, which was 60 inches plus whatever, whatever TV that they had before the 4K started coming out and rolling out and stuff. Why would they want to upgrade already? Like, it's not everybody's gonna upgrade every 2 years, unfortunately. Now you got even like reports coming from Sony that they're already working on 8K. Okay, that's ridiculous.
Well, they do have 8K TVs. They're like $50,000.
Yeah, they're expensive as shit. But Sony's pushing
future.
towards that market because they have a television market.
Yeah, they have
now,
8K TVs.
This is the one thing I did agree with you. Like, they should have put an Xbox. Like, they should have marketed outside to where people can actually go see what the fuck the difference is and see if that sells.
No, that's what the show floor was for.
I understand that, but Sony did it. But Sony did it. Best Buy has. They had a 4K. The PlayStation Pro.
Yeah, but the Pro's not really selling either, though.
No, I mean,
this is a throwaway SKU. This is just research and development money for the next console.
Right.
Pull it up to here's how we can recoup some of that.
Still, it looked beautiful, regardless of what we say. It still looks beautiful, whether it sells or not. I mean, is it worth our time to buy it? I don't think so. I'd rather spend my money on getting an external hard drive, which is what I did.
No, but the sad part was. You were open. Have you owned an Xbox console before?
I have not.
And you've been on record several times stating after E3 he was looking for 4K.
I wanted to see. So for the people who were going to purchase into it, like for
and
instance,
you're Sony.
We thought that this would have sold, like, it was a brand new idea. We knew that you and Rich were in the market. They're like, oh, okay, we're looking into this. We're kind of excited for this. If you guys were going to get it and, sell us as a whole, then I would have definitely gotten one just so I can be on the same
like how Horizon kind of sold me on buying a PlayStation. If we had had something besides that crappy Crackdown demo, or Sea of Thieves, or something that wasn't multi-platform to offer you, I can see how you would go, this is worth the investment. Yeah. Right now, it's basically, hey, Mo, you can play Halo. You're like, yeah, great, I don't care.
Yeah.
If it didn't get you before, it's not going to get you now. In fact, it's a 2-year-old game now.
There's been 5 Halos, and you haven't bought an Xbox for a Halo game.
Nope, but I played them here at your place.
And Gears.
And Gears. I played them all here. Like, there was just no reason for me to buy one. I felt like if I wanted to experience something and if I was actually going to get sold, I would have played it here at your house, Steve.
Those are the best games to convince you.
Or Rich's house. It doesn't matter. But how many times have we played Xbox? Did I ever bitch about playing Xbox?
Yeah.
No, we just played and we had fun.
We had some good times at the apartment.
Yeah, we did. Drunk as shit. Playing some Xbox. But,
good way to end rotation night.
I don't own one, but, we still had fun regardless. And I was looking for Xbox One X to be...
Because you're looking for 4K.
I was
looking for 4K TV.
I was looking for 4K. Yeah.
So you had a potential new customer for Microsoft to bring in someone new.
I was all sold for it. I was like, okay, I'm going to get this. And then I saw that lineup and I deterred away from it. I just said, fuck it. I'd rather play great games than no games.
Yeah.
And Rich, what do you think Microsoft, who they should market to, what their strategy should be now, moving forward?
Parachutes. I think they all need parachutes because they either need a golden parachute because they should all be fired, or they're going right over that cliff, so it's going to, slow their descent if they have a parachute. But as far as, like, saving this, that was them tapping out for this generation. There was nothing. They're done. They'll still have some great stuff, but there's nothing. There's nothing that sets them apart. That was them waving the white flag.
It just really fucking bugged me. The way
they took the L.
Yeah, the way that it just fucking started to annoy me when I was watching that press conference. This is for that hardcore gamer. What? Which hardcore gamer? I don't.
The one that's only going to buy the cross-platform stuff on Microsoft, even though they already own a PlayStation.
I'm like, yeah, right, yeah, but hardcore gamer.
And we'll get into more specifics about this later on in our next topic about Destiny 2. But let's just talk about overall in general with the publishers. So Microsoft did say that the publishers can use the power however they want with no requirements from Microsoft. So however they want. So let's be on the publisher's side, is how much should they even invest? Because PS4 Pro and some, they can do somewhat 4K, but Xbox One X, most powerful console. But, and Rich has been saying this since day one, as in, so what is the most powerful console if publishers don't use the full power?
Exactly.
So that puts the publishers as in how much should we invest in this game to make it for the Xbox One X and make it the best version when there's a very small install base already.
But you can't put too much into it because even when you have those comparisons, let's say they run it like the frame issue and they run them side by side and it looks so much cleaner on Xbox X as opposed to PlayStation Pro, they will be competing with themselves for what's the better looking game, and that puts them in the bad column because if you are in the market for that game but you only can afford the PlayStation, you don't want to buy the new hardware, and now I've shown you how much better or how much, actually in their minds, how much worse it looks on your console, you might skip that one and be like, oh, I'll pick it up when I have money to get the Xbox X. Now it goes to the bottom of the buy list, and you buy all those other exclusives because PlayStation's got tons of those, right? And then you're waiting for your next big sale, or when it comes to the summer, it'll be marked down to $20, and I'll get it then, and I can, maybe the X will be knocked off $50 or $100, and I'll pick it up then. And well, guess what happens in 6 months? Your mind changes. You don't pay attention to stuff. Life happens, and maybe you don't have disposable income anymore, and all of a sudden, it's not a priority to buy any game, certainly not that one that's 6 months old, and you had to buy brand new hardware to play it the way that you think you need to play it. They don't want to be there. They want it to be as similar in experience on all the consoles when you're multi-platform, so that they can reach the biggest customer base. They don't want to shoot themselves in the foot and go, don't buy it on this one. They don't want to be known as that, because we've seen that a few times. It tanks the whole property, because it's usually the system that's trying too hard to catch up. Like PlayStation 3 had the more powerful machine, but it didn't have the mind share because of the Wii and the 360. And so they were really putting out stuff, and it looked awesome, but it made it, they seemed desperate, so people were still buying it on Xbox.
And there was a problem with that too. That the PlayStation 3, they had that cell whatever running system, and then the developers were saying
it was hard to develop.
We don't, how the fuck do we develop for this thing? We know that the potential's there to do all this, but we don't yet quite understand. Like, we're so used to running IPs off of like PC hardware, stuff like that. Yeah, that's gonna work now, but it's still you're only reaching to a smaller market at this moment in time.
And if you're not giving them financial incentive to be exclusive to Microsoft or Sony, if you're letting them continue to be cross-platform, why are they going to allocate 10% more resources to build for the other one? Yeah, it's more powerful, but what do I get out of it? It's going to sell less than the other existing customer base. Why wouldn't I want the PlayStation experience to be the better experience? Because they beat them almost 2-1. 3-1 in some parts of the world. So why would I want to build for Microsoft's platform unless I'm only going to be there? Then of course I can full gusto give them everything I got, show them what I can do with their technology. But if it's going to be cross-platform, it would be dumb to take it to the one that's not going to sell as much and put more resources in that, allocate more team members to that for that coding process. It doesn't make sense financially or development standpoint.
On all aspects, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
And that's why I said, that's why they were my surprise. None of this. The lack of games, the lack of forward thinking, they haven't changed any policies or procedures of their existing stuff. The only thing they did is drop $50 off the S. That's the one big announcement, and you saw that hit like a fucking turd. Everybody went, wow, we still weren't going to buy it, so thanks. Yeah. That's all that did. You still don't have games. It's great that your machine is more affordable now, but if I don't have anything to play on it, why will I buy it?
So I know Sony took a lot of heat for PS4 Pro not having a 4K Blu-ray player. Like, what the hell, Sony, you have a Blu-ray player? Yeah. But they did say, as in, everyone is moving towards the digital side. So everything is being streamed online in 4K, or buying it digitally 4K. No one is using discs. And I'm very old school. I'm very disc-based, but
me too.
It's true that we are moving towards a digital age, as in how much is a 4K Blu-ray player going to be used? Like, oh, we have a 4K Blu-ray player, but you have an Xbox One S as well. That upgrades it. Xbox One S actually upgrades it too to look better.
Yeah. And that's what I've been doing. I've been buying movies digitally now, especially because it streams in 4K. And I'm buying straight off the Sony store too.
No, but see, that's something that would have been perfect for either company, but especially Microsoft, who needed the advantage. Like I said, their whole thing should be pick up that legacy baton that Sony threw away after the PlayStation 2. Remember how the 3 had its problem with the emulator and was causing the house fires and stuff, and they've dropped it ever since. Use it so that I have a Microsoft account, and remember, that goes across your PC, your tablets, if you got a Windows phone, and of course your Xbox. If I buy a movie from the Windows Store, as long as I still can log into my account, guess what? Whatever media I have that account attached to, I watch it on my laptop when I'm on a flight. I watch it on a tablet when I'm sitting on the couch and, Mo's over and he's playing a game on my PlayStation 4. And, or I'm at work on break and I'm watching something on my phone. Because I own the media. I want to be able to take it wherever I have. I shouldn't have to buy 15 versions of the same movie, game, TV show, song, because, I upgraded my phone, so guess what? Now I gotta rebuy all my fucking media library.
Nintendo, we're looking at you.
Yeah.
How many times someone has bought in Super Mario Bros. 3?
Yep. And it's, if you want to give us little bonuses, like if you make it, you put in the ability to save, like the NES Classic has, or you upscale some of the graphics and stuff, charge me for a patch. $1 or $2, and then you recoup some of your development costs, implementation costs, but it's feasible to me as opposed to I had to go out and spend another $20-$30
Yeah.
to get a game that I already bought, and I probably already bought 5 fucking times now. That's my big complaint, like with the NES Classic. Why do I need to do that? If I bought it from you, I'm the rights holder now. If it's all legal bullshit, then put that in your contracts going forward, so that from this next generation, it never becomes a problem again. I don't want to have to lose out because, well, guess what? Acclaim doesn't own the Ninja Turtles anymore, so you bought that game, but you can't download it on the store. Well, then why did I buy the fucking game? I bought it because you sold it, but I didn't have time to play it. But then my Xbox had the Red Ring of Death. Now I got the new one I want to re-download. It's not in the store anymore. Acclaim lost their license. Then where's my money? Give me a refund then. That only makes sense to me. If I had a disc, that would kind of make sense.
Someone's a little traumatized from that experience.
Well, if I give you money, I should be able to have something to show for it. They don't like it when I play their game. If I had their game for 6 years and went, this sucks, give me my money back, they'd say, are you fucking ridiculous? Well, if I paid full price for the game and then decided I wanted to play it 6 years later, I shouldn't have them going, are you out of your mind? That's the normal way of doing things.
So I read an article about the Xbox One X that they're really not losing any money or really gaining any money with the $500 price point. So should Xbox One X, should they have taken the hit and went with the 400, would that have mattered, or it was just a clusterfuck in the games, doesn't even matter what price?
If you're in the market for a 4K TV, I don't think that $100 would have swayed you the other way.
No.
But I also think that if you didn't care about the $400, you probably already have an S or the original Xbox One. So I don't think that this is a motivator in any way for anybody. Other than I've got a 4K and I'm looking to upgrade.
That was it.
And again, if you weren't going to be subsidized by the trade-in credit at GameStop,
Yeah.
you wouldn't do it, right?
Yeah, no, I checked. I went to GameStop website, see how much I'll get for my Xbox One, and I saw that my Xbox One is $100, but they do have like specials, get like $50 extra more credit or $25 more credit. But Rich is absolutely right. I would not pay the full $500 for the Xbox One X. I don't think it's worth it for just an upgrade to a 4K. But $400 is still borderline, but I want 4K gaming on a console. I don't play PC. It was either the PS5, because PS4 Pro is upscaled 4K. I want native 4K, because I'm a douchebag like that, I guess. And so that's why I'm going with the Xbox One X. Just turn in my Xbox One, which is the first time I've ever exchanged a console. I'm a collector. I have every single console that I purchased, and I still have it here. This will be the first console I will ever trade in. But it's the same family, Xbox One family. So I guess I'm not missing out.
And you get a new controller. So
Yeah.
don't have to
And
play
you got a new
seven.
control, yeah.
Lazy. That's the height of laziness.
Yeah.
Or how much he doesn't want to play Mass Effect.
Yeah, how much?
Either way, I win this argument. Yeah.
My Xbox One controller with my right button is broken. We'll see if GameStop will find that. Or if they watch this video.
No one's going to watch this video.
And find out. But we'll see. We have the next few months to see what Microsoft, how they market this. They have a huge hill to climb.
No.
Did not start off well. This generation has not been well.
No, it hasn't.
They just need a do-over. And that's why I said this should be a start of a new generation. Well, good thing they didn't, because they would have lost the next generation as well. So Microsoft, the ball's in your court. We'll see in the next few months how you market it, who's going to purchase it, how the sales actually going to be for this console.
The ball's not in their court. It's not even in their fucking state.
I-
Let's be honest. Jesus.
Please let us know in the comments below what your feelings are for the Xbox One X, and who the fuck do you think is going to purchase this console? So we just discussed about the Xbox One X, about the publishers trying to balance the machines between Xbox One X, PS4 Pro, and Rich made a great point of the difference. As in, if I make it more powerful on the Xbox One X, they're going to wait to buy an Xbox One X and they never get to that point. So there's been a rumor about Destiny 2 has been confirmed will be 30 FPS, frames per second, on both the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro. So the designer actually went up and they actually said the PS4 Pro is not powerful enough to run it at 60 FPS. So that has been confirmed. They said it's not powerful enough. There's been rumors to suggest that Xbox One X that it can run at 60 FPS on the Xbox One X. So that of course, started rumors as in, Activision or Bungie and Sony, they made a little deal on the side, as in the best game has to be on Sony. It cannot give a better performance.
Which is kind of a known thing that has happened in the past. I don't know the ins and outs of this contract, but it's one of those things both sides will always deny and will always say they didn't do, but has kind of been exposed before, just how, like they said, we don't pay for positive coverage, and then we had those scandals a couple years ago. So
yeah, on the PC it will run at 60 FPS. So it is on the PS4 Xbox release on September 6th, 30 FPS on all consoles, even the Xbox One X that comes out 2 months later on November 7th. But PC comes out October 24th. So it comes out about a month and a half later, and that will be at 60 FPS on PC. And I know I've actually spoken to some people who are actually going the PC route, or actually not buying it on a console. They want the best version of Destiny 2, which will be in 4K, 60 FPS on a PC. But, so with those rumors starting, the Destiny 2 project lead, Mark Noseworthy, commented, and I have his comments about what he had to comment about this rumors about this side deal that potentially happened between Bungie and Sony. So this is what he had to say. We would never hold back game performance on a platform to appease a partner. No partners ask us to either. We optimize for each platform's tech to deliver the best social action game experience we can. Period. All consoles will run at 30 FPS to deliver D2's, Destiny 2, AI counts, environment sizes, and number of players. They are all CPU bound. We are currently evaluating 4K for Xbox One X. It launches after D2, and so we are focused on the launch consoles right now. So taking all that into account, do you think that there's a little side deal between Bungie and Sony, or they've just been focusing on the consoles that release now and will worry about Xbox One because it releases 2 months? Because they're probably focusing on getting this game launched by that September release. They probably don't have time. They did say the PS4 Pro can't do 60 FPS, so why take all the time and get it 60 FPS on Xbox One X? But the one quote that I'm intrigued about is he says, we optimize for each platform's tech to deliver the best social action game experience.
Look, I've been playing MMOs for as long as I can remember. If you don't have a good running system, it drops down in frame rates. Mm-hmm. Fast, like super fast, especially when you're going against a big boss and you're going to go do Horde or whatever the fuck they call it, and depending on the MMORPG as well. I feel that they are going to deliver, and if they do, they're going to deliver a game that's going to run hopefully at 30 FPS, just standard, without it dropping below what the threshold count usually is. I don't see why this should be such a big thing. I really don't. A lot of people play a lot of games at the standard 30 FPS, and they're having just as much fun. So, I mean...
Oh, there's 2 more teraflops, that's why. We want those teraflops used, Mo.
Yeah, but...
I paid for those teraflops. I want full advantage of my teraflops.
Bullshit, because you're not buying in.
I'm making their case for them. I speak for the people. The one person that's going to buy it.
Who's going to buy the Xbox One X.
Regardless of the fact...
But not Destiny.
Regardless whether they change it or not, you're still going to play it. And you're still going to have a good time. Well, depends. Because fuck Destiny.
I think I made this point. It's why put more people on something you know it's not going to sell as well. You can patch it later on when you do your first expansion pack and maybe even make that a perk. And you don't know what the customer base is going to be. So why focus on it? So go for that. And let's be honest, there's probably a little bit of bad blood. They don't give a fuck about making Microsoft look good.
Right.
They left in a huff and thought that they should own Halo, and they didn't. And sorry, but that's the way it was.
That's like Kojima going back to Konami and paying respects. Like, come on, guys. Let's be real.
Metal Gear 6.
Yeah, Metal Gear
back.
6, yeah.
Death Stranding and Metal Gear 2. Death Stranding is an actual secret Metal Gear game.
That's that baby that they're holding, or whatever the fuck is my baby.
No, it's Raiden. It's a secret origin. Metal Gear Stranding.
But I think people are just nitpicking, and of course, if you are going to invest in this as game
conspiracy theories, which could be true or not.
Could be.
No, I think it's just not a priority.
Why?
And they also know. Look at Titanfall is a perfect example. Your launch window, make or break, right? And then within 2-3 weeks, you know if that game has legs or not.
$40.
Why spend all that money to try to make it look good on a system that doesn't come out for another 2 months? Because those day one reviews are going to kill you, or you're going to make all your money anyway. So who gives a fuck? You'll patch it later.
They're going to buy it on Xbox One and PS4, PS4 Pro. By the time it gets to X, the majority of their sales for Destiny 2.
And again, this is where what Phil Spencer's talking about, where they don't worry about the loss and benefit ratio kind of thing, is if you're really the hardcore, that's where Mo's saying, why are you making this argument? But there are the ones who are like you were bringing up, the PC players. I'm going to play it there because it's the best version. Well, guess what? They're probably going to buy it on console because they'll get it 2 months early, play it there, and then they'll buy the PC version. Hopefully, migrate their account. If not, well, now I know all the secrets, and I'll fucking gear out my guy here because I know where to grind at.
Here's the funny thing: the same thing happened at Dark Souls. Believe it or not, it happened in Dark Souls 2. That's when it started with Dark Souls in general. Dark Souls ported their PlayStation and Xbox, and it played at the standard FPS, and then people ended up going to pick up the PC version and saw that they can upgrade the graphics and the frames per second and all that. And there was not a switch in how many people were playing. Yeah. There are a lot of people still playing on console. That didn't deteriorate anything from anybody playing that damn game. So, I mean, this is, in a way, like, I see that people want to make this a controversy, but you should spend your time on something else. Sorry. This is like, it's wasted time for those people. Just go focus on a game that you actually enjoy and go off of that. And people who are gonna jump onto the PC version, good for them. But if they don't have a good running PC, then they're fucked.
No,
that's all I'm gonna say.
At that 4K, you need
then you're fucked, and it costs more than $500. I'll tell you that much. That's all I got.
501.
Yeah, it's an upgrade. So I mean, the people who aren't generally like. For instance, I couldn't tell you go buy it for PC. What, Steve? Have you ever touched a PC gaming console ever? Or just?
I played Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Was the last PC title I've played. What was that? 98.
Yeah.
And I was actually upset. It was a Christmas gift from my older brother. At the time, I was upset because I had a 64 and I wanted it on 64. But my brother actually said this to me when he got it. He's like, I got you the PC version because this is the best version. It's better than the 64, which it was. Mm-hmm. But I was like 14. I'm like, I want my 64. I want a console. But that was my last PC game, was Star Wars Rogue Squadron.
A lot of people don't want to bug with PC sometimes. They'd rather go home, get something easy, put it on. They don't want to go and install a program and then turn on the PC, wait for that to boot, and then even though it's faster, but it's
it's another coding language. And how many times have they been burned? Like Halo, was it Halo 2 or 3, where it was like a completely broken game? There was one just a year ago. I can't remember what it was. Where it came out. It
was the collection. It was the Halo collection.
Yeah, that's what it came out like completely unplayable on PC.
Yep. Okay. Well, happened with Batman as well. Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight,
completely broken.
Glitched.
And they actually they took it off the market.
Yeah, because it was that bad, and they were doing refunds.
Yeah. That they just took it off the market. It's not working, and that's happened as well. It's harder. So Phil Spencer was asked a question similar to this, as in with the other publishers not using the full advantage, and what does that mean for Xbox One X? So Phil Spencer said this. The capability is in this box, the Xbox One X, to make the difference extremely significant. I think about the consoles in the market today, whether it's PS4, original Xbox One, S, or Pro, it's all kinds of closer in specs. He's comparing them all similar in spec. We've hit a performance spec with Xbox One X that should make those games the most definitive version of those games. So that is what they're banking on, is that Xbox One X will be the most definitive edition of Assassin's Creed Origins, of Destiny 2, of Call of Duty, World War II. Do you think is that something that they should bet on? And with the no restrictions, same publishers make the games however you want. The requirements, you have this power if you want to use it.
See, the way I look at it, if I was a game developer and publisher and have all the rights, whatever, and I was supposed to make a game and just what's going on right now, I'm sorry, I'm going to market towards where all my sales are going to be at. And right now, like, without
2-1,
being unknown of how Xbox One X future lies, I wouldn't place all my bets on that. That's like placing a bet on not that it's wrong to place a bet on an underdog. I don't see myself winning in that aspect.
Which is the same as the Switch. Third parties were like, let's see this thing launch and see what happens until I make a fucking game, because we got fucking burned on the Wii and the Wii U. That we invest this time and shit sales when we make a game, and it's all the shovelware is getting all the success. Like, what the fuck? We're not investing. We're not wasting our time. So the Switch so far is a success. So now third parties were waiting. All right, now we're going to start seeing some, not all third parties will be on board, because the PlayStation, Xbox are extremely powerful and they want to use the most powerful machine. Right. But they can have some fun games, such as we saw with Mario and Rabbids. Ubisoft taking advantage of some creative ideas. But that's what it was the same. The Switch, we're going to wait, and the Xbox One X. And that's the reason I'm really concerned about the X is that's the reason why I'm buying it, is I want the most definitive version of the third-party games. Because I was going in as in all third-party games I'm getting on Xbox One X in 4K. But the publishers don't really take advantage of that and use it.
Because it's not like they're making an X version. They're making the one that's for the Xbox.
Yeah.
So it's what can they fit on that disc? What did they program for? Where did they put their resources? Because when you're making it, you're making one Microsoft version and one Sony version. And you are making it hoping that they get the best version, but you know the majority of the people that have the ownership in each of those is not the Pro and not the X. You get the standard, and then you get the standard PS4. That's what you're going for. That's what you program for. That's your definitive edition. This other stuff is nice little graphical tweaks, but it doesn't mean anything because they are not actually programming for that. If this was the PS5 and the Xbox 2 or whatever we're going to call it, then that would make sense. But it's not. It's just a little bit extra on top of it, but that's not what they're going for. Again, this is putting a bow tie on a fucking turd. That if there's nothing at its base, it doesn't matter how much you gussy up everything at the end, it's still just a turd. So that's what they did, is they gave you this awesome processing power, but there's no core to it. And that's the problem with buying the Pro, is that there's no core to it.
What's the car term that you use?
The speed limit thing. That it's nice to have a Ferrari in the engine and you can go, 200 miles an hour very quickly. But if you strictly adhere to the law or it's strictly enforced and you can never get over 60 miles per hour, what the fuck is the point of having it? If you're never going to take it there, it's only a showpiece. It's only to tell your friends 6 teraflops. It doesn't mean anything. And
that's what people are starting to question about the X, as in publishers don't take full advantage of the most powerful console ever. What does it mean to have the most powerful console ever when it's similar if someone had 4.5 teraflops, the same amount of power? Now, to add on, what is the cost of these resources too? Does it go up in cost?
Yeah.
Of course. So a publisher that's coming in now, that they're going to look at how am I going to save some type of money? Because games are not cheap to make at all and publish and do all that. They cost millions and millions of dollars. And just the exact same thing. If you have a Ferrari, if one piece breaks on that Ferrari, what the fuck is the cost?
Yep.
That's where we're going.
And back to my message about their whole thing at E3. The whole reason why they sent out those development kits. Remember the story like 2 weeks ago into E3 about they released another 1 gig of the system memory available for the developers?
Yeah.
Because that basically is, we want you to feel that this is your home base for what you want to code to. And they did not attract any exclusives that they announced in any way, shape, or form. No partnerships, no nothing. So that told me, I gave you everything you wanted and you still turned your nose up at it. So again, why do I want to invest in a system that they're not going to have games on? They'll have the standard ones that you have from your Xbox One, but there is nothing that is you can only run it with the X, or you really have to have it. I get it, but it's marketing BS when they say it looks best on. No, it looks best on the Xbox One because that's what they made it for. It just looks a little bit sharper, but it doesn't mean better. Like our discussion about Westworld. It does look clearer and sharper, but when I go for the movie experience, my HD TV as opposed to this 4K, I enjoyed it more because it had that glow, that softness to the picture, where yours looked like it was a digital handycam.
I enjoyed being in the TV.
I don't. I like that little layer of fuzz in between that lets you know that this is a false reality, as opposed to I'm watching someone's home movies. And that's what it looked like. It was startling to me watching that show because I thought it was very cinematic, and then when I watched it in 4K, I went, what the fuck is this?
Wait until you watch porn in 4K. Ooh, being in there on the bed.
Just what I need. Really bad tan jobs and bruises everywhere. Oh, look at all the ingrown hairs.
In 4K, absolutely. That's why I want that 4K player.
I could just imagine Rich. How much makeup did this bitch put on? That's not her real face.
So we don't think the Destiny 2 is a conspiracy or any side deals. It's just they don't want to... They're focused on the consoles now, 2 months down the road.
It just makes sense to go towards what makes sense for your business plan.
Exactly.
Now, it's kind of like you were saying with the Switch and the Wii and the Wii U. Is it doesn't make sense if we don't know that it's going to be a success. Why allocate more funds?
They're catering to their public as well. They've sold millions and millions of copies of Destiny. They're going to cater to those people, and those people are going to
sell millions more.
And those people are going to pick it up. Yep. So I don't see Bungie at a loss at all right now. Good for them.
And to sell the difference, as in PS4 Pro is upscaled 4K compared to $100 more native 4K. Is there that big of a difference between the two? Is it $100?
Well, we're going to see once it releases. I'm sure everyone's going to be doing comparisons.
But that's where I'm arguing. Is it really that important?
Yeah.
It really
like,
is.
if it looks better, but it still plays like shit, who cares?
Right.
Crackdown. Well, you said the news on the floor said it plays well, but...
It plays well, but it looks like garbage.
It's a 360 launch title. No.
That's like...
Just joking. Not that bad. Just doesn't...
It looks pretty bad.
You're showing 4K.
If anybody that played Crackdown 2, I'm worried that this is another Crackdown 2. I love Crackdown 1. Crackdown 2 was hot garbage.
So that is our take on the Destiny 2 30 FPS on both Xbox One X and the PS4, and continuing our Xbox One X conversation. Please let us know in the comments below if you think it's a conspiracy theory that there's a side deal going on between Sony and Bungie, or there's no side deal, it's just the publisher looking out after their own resources and for the players.
That's when you cue the X-Files music.
No, they already did their launch event at Area 51, didn't they? Or Roswell, or that one? All the green lights and everything. Cirque du Soleil was there?
Just recently, the Atari CEO has announced they are back.
Sorry, I had to laugh at that. There's an Atari CEO. Sorry, my bad.
They are back in the hardware business.
I don't know if we can make it through this one. Okay, go ahead.
They are back. Atari showed off a 21-second tease with a website URL named Atari Box. Did any of you see the 21-second tease? Little teaser. It showed a little of the wood, the old school wood.
I just read about it. The old school wood.
The old school wood.
Making its comeback on Viagra.
Pulled directly from that fucking New Mexico dump.
Of the E.T., yeah. After they found those E.T., which is a great documentary on Netflix, if it's still there, that I watched.
Well, again, another example of, no, we never did that. He's got a fucking backhoe. Here you go. Oh, look, we found them all! It wasn't just a fucking urban myth. Wow.
So a little bit of background of Atari. Their last console, the Jaguar, was released in 1993. Did anyone play the Jaguar?
I did.
Holy shit. What is it? Well, what was it?
It's a piece of shit.
Rich, what the fuck was the Atari Jaguar?
Around the time of the TurboGrafx 16. and had a bigger controller that looked a lot like the original Xbox's football style controller. So like a half circle. It had like a phone keypad for all the buttons, and some of the games would come with a sheet that would fit into some notches so that you would press like left, right, up, down, jump. You'd be actually pushing the number behind them, but because of this sheet that's over them, it looks like you're pressing a jump button that has like a caveman's face on it or something like that. So they would do the different games, they would have that, and then other ones you just knew that it was like, oh, okay. Like when you're playing on the PC, you know that like the 8 keys, the up key, when you're playing on the keypad. So is that kind of thinking. But it's that kind of thinking when you're trying to talk to kids who don't do PC gaming. You know, it's confusing. And this is a time where it was A, B, select, and start was the most buttons you had seen on a machine. Maybe the SNES, you were getting
during that
the
time.
left and right bumpers. And, you know, all of a sudden you've got 15 buttons to press, and they're all, like, collected together. Nobody knew what the hell to do with the thing. And it was hard to find. And it was, I think when it came out, it was probably $900 at that time.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
And that was that money. So when you do, you know, inflation. You're talking $1,200-1,300 possibly.
Yeah.
And Mo, what was your experience with the Jaguar?
Very confusing as well. Because if you bought these games and you lost the little pad, the little slip pad, then all you had is buttons. Yeah. And you wouldn't know what the fuck to push. Like, I forgot the name of that stupid game with the face and the spaceship. Where did you learn to fly? I hated that fucking game. But that's because I didn't have the slip cover. Like, I lost it somehow.
No, and if I remember, like, this is when they really started doing... It was like that Apple kind of mentality of everything was proprietary. You couldn't mix and match, and there were no third-party vendors making, like, extra cables and stuff. So it was like, you buy the system, but the AC adapter is another $30, and your TV connection's another $15.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a controller, but, you know, these are all, like, 2-player games or whatever. You got to do that.
And in reality, if I remember correctly, I don't remember any of the games being memorable. Being miserable, not memorable.
No, they didn't last that long.
No, it didn't.
No, it had a short lifespan.
And remember, this wasn't Atari. This is the first time that they had gotten bought out, and we're going to use this game or this name as our brand and try to do something. And again, I don't know why you keep trotting out this brand. It has not meant anything to anybody in 30 years.
Yeah.
Other than failure. So I don't know why you keep trying. Nobody keeps releasing the Pinto. We all kind of went, no, it was a waste. It means no go in Spanish. So got rid of the damn thing. You don't keep calling it. Hey, it's the failure box. Anybody want to buy it? It's only $850. Come on, pre-orders now.
I already got my pre-order in.
Exactly.
I already got my pre-order in.
Failure of legacy.
So that was their last console. I'm surprised that it didn't last very well after your 2 experiences. Why it didn't make it big.
It's terrible.
So Atari went bankrupt in 2013. The latest, it went bankrupt.
Yeah, that was like the 4th iteration of Atari.
In 2013, was rescued by the current CEO. When he rescued him from bankruptcy, vowed to bring greatness back to the Atari name. That was his vow.
Make TNA great again, right?
There we go. So
maybe that's what they need, the GFW box. Maybe that would fix Atari.
Get Eric Bischoff over there.
There you go.
There we go.
Brother.
So now, this has been years in development, so they asked, is this going to be like an old school, like the NES Classic? So he says the Atari box will be based on technology found in a PC and has been in development for years. And we'll share more information about the console at a later date. So the news broke, new Atari game console with PC technology. It looks like they're going to try and compete with Microsoft and Sony.
No. DOA already.
Yeah, I think...
No chance, no hope.
I just think it's the wrong way to go and to start something that's been dead for so long in the water.
You've been working on it for years and you're using mix and match PC parts and you still don't have anything to show for it. Who are you aligned with? Because I know that Games for Windows and Steam pretty much own the whole PC culture. Yeah. So you're going to make your own alternative that nobody's ever heard of, other than, again, brand of failure. So you're gonna be the third alternative because everybody knows, you know, you use iTunes, you use Spotify, you used to use Pandora, and then you use what? Everybody else that's come up has lasted as a blip and then they disappear because you're not iTunes. right? Pandora's going away now. Spotify is kind of iffy. iTunes was the first and biggest name, and they maintain that until whatever change in distribution we come up with.
So this latest announcement of the Atari box, is there enough of a market for another console?
No.
It's going to be difficult for them, I'll tell you that
Well, we
much.
don't even know what they're trying to sell. Are they making their own games? Are they contacting third parties? Are they going to be like their version of the Steam box where they use the Steam architecture to roll out those games that are in a home console experience? Because the Steam box fell flat on its ass too. So
It did. Really did. I mean, there's so many... There are possibilities, but there's also a lot of bad things that can happen as well. I think they should hold back a little bit before thinking about.
I don't think there's anything. I think this is vaporware.
True, but
I think it's just an announcement to get attention because he spent money buying the IP, buying the marketing, the brand, and he doesn't know how to run the business or how to get it over because, like I said, it's a brand of failure. So he wanted to announce something hoping that people would be so nostalgic that they'd be singing his praises, but nobody gave a shit.
I feel that he should have gone the Sega route.
Well, weren't they Atari games being made?
Yeah, but they weren't Atari games because there isn't an Atari games. It's Vivendi had bought them out and put the logo and that title on stuff that they were making to try to trick you into thinking that it's an Atari. But it's not a brand. Again, it's calling something that doesn't actually exist anymore. It's my argument with Rare. You bought all the IP, but the staff doesn't remain. And you're not... The stuff that they were really known for, you don't own the rights to because they were licensed, like James Bond and stuff like that. Banjo-Kazooie is kind of...
BioWare?
Same thing that happened with Hudson Soft. Konami bought them, and guess what? They're nowhere to be sound, heard, or anything.
Yep.
Who knows if they even have some of the team, and they do have some of the team. They're working on slot machines, so
yeah, they're not the team anymore. They split off into multiple
and if
different
you remember,
things.
Hudson Soft was one of the haymakers of Nintendo back in the day. So, I mean, there's so, like I said, there's a lot of vague information that trying to come into this market now is going to be super tough. I don't know how they...
Based off the name itself, as in trustworthy name, if I buy this, is this console going to be dead in 2 years?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying this is already a bad idea because it's already got that stigma to it.
Yeah.
And the people that it matters to, they don't care anymore because they've moved on. I'm one of those guys that owned it. I was alive when it was still being sold in stores at full price, not a discount or a pawn shop or anything like that. I don't give a fuck. And I'm a legit legacy gamer. I care about the history. I don't want this stuff to just disappear from our culture. I don't give a fuck. Go away. You've been gone for decades. Get the fuck out of here. If you're really this good at running your business, you don't need that crappy brand as an anchor around your neck. Go and make your own thing, and I will notice that it's awesome. Just like I did when BioWare first caught my attention. I didn't know who the fuck they were, and then they became a good brand until they weren't. And everybody goes through those things. But it's not... We don't have...
Mass Effect Andromeda.
We don't really... Other than Nintendo, we don't really have a legacy of multiple decades of someone staying consistent growth. And I argue whether that's legit or if it's manipulated.
What about Sony? You think they're close?
Sony, no. They're the closest, but remember, they were late in the game. Sega had that, but they had their huge failure. They survived it, but they do have that huge black mark. As far as someone that has consistently grown, even the Wii U, they survived that, I think, fairly easily, and that was a big fall on their face. Nintendo is one of those. Plus, they had, almost a century before they were actually a video game company. So,
and I think, I don't know if they just want to throw something out there, like because they see a pattern. Oh, well, this gaming system kind of failed during this. We can make a comeback. Like
the NES Classic sold, so let's announce our thing.
Right.
It's not the same.
It's just, I don't know. That name has to be just refixed as a general. So
that's what they're trying to do, is bring greatness back to the Atari name.
How they're gonna market so many years of bullshit is...
No, but it's the whole idea of, that there are people in the world who have the last name Hitler. and I hate to use this because it's the extremist version, but it's one of those, there's not a way to rehab it. You can win the Nobel Peace Prize, you can have the cure for cancer, AIDS, and it's cost effective. Like someone gives you 10 cents and they can be completely inoculated from every major disease we have, and they still wouldn't be the first Hitler that comes to mind. It's just one of those, when someone is that far out of line, when they have such a big failure or slap in the face, that bad press cannot be overcome no matter how much good gets built on top of it. That bad is going to stink a lot more than the good will shine. Yeah. And that's the problem. They don't understand that. They think that Atari is this lovable brand. It wasn't. That was before brands really meant anything. It's just, we know it from its place in history, but it never really achieved greatness. It was just the first. It's Washington. You know? Well, the first president. Yeah? What did he do? He was the first president. I know he did other things, but I mean, when most Americans are asked, it's our first president. How many things are named after him? Our fucking capital in this nation is named after him. What did he do? Give me one piece of legislature that he put through. Nobody can. Or very few can, I should say. True. Because it didn't matter. He was just the first.
He's on my dollar bills, making it rain at Cheetahs.
That's all they're going to say.
I use quarters.
Pennies.
Ching, 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 ching.
Fucking pennies. We'll see. It's very vague, whatever they show and what their strategy is. Yeah. You can't just have a high-powered machine with Microsoft and Sony and like, hey, we can compete. Oh, we have 4K. What is that going to do? It's going to be $800, $900. We will see, but we kind of hinted towards it before. I want an E.T. remastered version. E.T. remastered launch game. E.T. Get that license.
Hysterical.
We all want it. We've all played E.T. before.
Yeah. Steven Spielberg does not want it.
No, he
E.T. remastered. And another game that I liked, Missile Command.
Yeah.
A revamped version. I actually was thinking about it. I want that in VR, actually. That would be cool.
I would think Missile Command would be awesome. You know how you had the three missile silos? I think it would be cool if you had like a co-op where each missile silo was one of your friends and you just control that. I think that would be awesome. And then VR would be awesome if you're all three of you are using VR and you're all talking to each other and just shooting down.
Because VR, because you can do co-op in Farpoint in VR, so it is possible. And Star Trek is co-op, all four VR. But the Atari,
what's four people?
What
in Star Trek?
Okay.
Oh, what did I say?
Are you running again? Are you running again?
Running again?
Yeah.
I don't know what I said. What happened?
I don't know.
What did it sound like I said?
Star Trek.
Are you running?
Fuck me.
I was like, are you running again on
God damn it.
Rainbow Road?
No, come on. May the force be with you.
Star Trek.
Thank you.
But also in Atari news, just last week, or on June 10th, I believe, At Games is releasing an Atari flashback console that is similar to the Nintendo Classic, which they already had a few of these, but it looks like they're putting some in better. So it's the Atari Flashback 8 Gold being released in September. 120 built-in Atari 2600 games, 2 wireless controllers, 2 controller ports for wired play, 720 HDMI output with scanline filtering, and featured to save, pause, and rewind for $79.99. 120 built-in Atari, $80. That's the Flashback Gold. They have an Atari Flashback 8 for $20 cheaper with 105 built-in games with 20 wired controllers.
With how many?
2 wired. It's wired.
Wired.
So the 8 is $20 more. You get 15 more games and they're wireless. Atari Flashback 8, but here it is. The Atari Flashback Portable Game Player.
Oh, God.
Portable Game Player.
This is starting to sound like a gimmick.
No. Portable Game Player. 70 games, and additional games can be added with an SD card. This is $59.99. But here's the catch. not a catch, as in this is competing with the Switch. It supports TV output with extra cable. So you can take it on the go and play it on your TV with a cable. Pre-orders open in retailers in July for these three.
I'm sure it's going to sell right out.
Oh.
So, where does the line start? I'm waiting to wait 4 hours in line again so I can play.
Start?
And behind me.
He'll be first.
No, he'll be fourth.
This might be on my
always
Christmas list, actually. I'm going to ask the wifey. We can play Atari.
But which one are you going to ask? There's so many options.
I
don't
know.
know what to pick.
I can have the portable game player attached to my TV. No, I want the Flashback 8 Gold, 120 built-in games.
I'm just trying to think. I mean, is it possible for me to flush all three of them down the toilet at the same time? I don't know.
So that's at Games. So Atari in the news. At Games bringing these two flashback consoles, one portable, and then their new console. So Atari's back. Atari is back. You guys will play with me, right?
No.
If I get the Atari, we'll play.
You can get the portable, and you can be on the toilet while you're taking a shit on them, and then you can throw that one in. It'll be good.
And then throw the Switch right afterwards. And just flush those down the
Why am I spending this money? I could be putting these young girls through college. Why am I spending it on these crappy consoles that nobody wants to play? If they want to play those games in the first place, you wouldn't have gone bankrupt in the first place.
Because somebody who hates you is going to give you a stocking stuffer.
So I'm just going to say, Steve, you shouldn't have. No, really, you shouldn't have.
We'll play. We'll have a night. We'll have a slumber party. Play some we have 120 games to play.
We'll go through them in 5 minutes.
No, it's going to be like 1-2 switch. You play the two that you kind of think are okay, and then you never touch it again. Until you sucker some new people come over. Hey! Want to play Quick Draw with me?
So we said the joke about the NES Classic that I want my kids to play. And I did play the Atari 2600 at my grandfather's. We had the Atari. And what about if my kids think the NES Classic sucks?
Wait till they play that one.
The Atari.
Every time you want to punish them, you force them to play that piece of shit.
Yeah.
The Atari, one button and a joystick. There you go, son.
You should be like, you're grounded until you can solve this game with one button.
Yeah. You're ungrounded until you beat E.T., motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna be sitting there like, this game fucking sucks. They're all crying.
Yeah. I'll give you $20 if you beat this game.
I'm going to give him a little shovel. Tell him, point him towards New Mexico, where the landfill is. You got to get a copy of the game, come back, play it. Because it's not even included in the 120.
Because E.T. is not on the list of 120 built-in games. But so that was in the news for Atari doing the because everyone thought they're doing a flashback, but at Games said they're doing these flashback consoles based off the NES Classic.
I wonder, are they using these flashbacks to justify the new, like the spend of the new hardware?
That's their GoFundMe.
So
God
research and
forbid
development.
these don't sell, and then they won't have a new console.
Research and development.
This
going
is
into
their
the new
GoFundMe.
console.
Damn it.
This is how they do GoFundMe.
Oh yeah, this is their Kickstarter. Except
Yeah, their Kickstarter. It's selling this
they
game.
didn't
So
have
if you
the
buy
pride to
one,
say, hey.
we'll have you down for the pre-order for the new Atari box.
Sign me up. With Atari game console, we'll get more information to get more judgment. Again, it was just announced by CEO, bringing greatness name back to the Atari.
You'll see the next
brand.
Duke Nukem before you see another Atari console.
So you don't think it's going to happen? You just think it's just to get
I think
news?
it's wishful thinking, but he can't back it up.
And if it does happen, good luck to them.
I don't know who's gonna support it.
That's
I don't know who's
why
gonna
I
be
said.
on there.
That's why I said good luck to them. I mean, just,
Again, that's if I'm justifying. I'm building for Sony. I'm building for Xbox. Now I got a code for Atari too. You know how many of them are actually available PC, Xbox, and PlayStation? When it's PC, it's Xbox because of the games for Windows
Right.
architecture. If they're going to go another way, that's either Steam or a third. That's more people that need to be building it. That's more expenditure for people on an untested and like I said, a failure of a brand.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if they do pull out a machine like this, who's gonna like get behind them? Like, we got console exclusive. No, it's gonna be another world exclusive.
Yeah,
World exclusive.
Atari box.
Those are our reactions to the announcement by the CEO of supposedly the Atari box, a new Atari console. Please let us know in the comments below what you feel about a new Atari console, and would you buy the Atari box? We are at the end of our Gamescast. This is where we go balls deep. This is where we let you know what games we're playing all week long. Starting with you, Mo.
I'm actually still playing Titanfall 2. A lot more.
Those free maps, man.
They got me. I just recently bought The Witcher, and I played a little bit of Witcher 3. But I bought it for that E3 sale that Sony had. And I also...
They had a great sale.
Yeah, they had a fantastic, that 80% off. Just, how can I not dive? I dove. So I bought the one with all the DLCs and everything. It was, with tax, it was like $21, but I bought it digitally. So... and also The Walking Dead: The New Frontier, all the with
all the episodes.
Yeah, but the season pass and everything. Yeah. With that, I only spent like $30. What else did I get? Oh, the Darksiders collection too. That was also included in that $30.
Jesus,
32 to 33, somewhere around there. But yeah, I scored big, so I want to finish The Witcher 3. I was never able to finish
Good luck.
it. I know. It's
it takes a while.
Another horizon on my fucking
yeah, I did I beat the game, the quest, and I did like the secondary quest as well. It took me about 75 hours to do it. What I do with those games, like same thing with Elder Scrolls and Fallout, is I do side quests, I do the main mission, I don't beat the last level until I beat all the other side quests. And so I'm all leveled up, and then I fight the big boss, or then I go to the end.
Yeah,
which is what I did with The Witcher.
I tend to do the same thing. Except for Horizon. Actually, first time I've never actually done that, because Horizon kind of takes you in different directions, and I thought I was playing the main story, and then it turns out to be a side quest, because the storyline was so good going towards that side quest, which I don't know if you're there yet, but when the hunting party gets separated from the actual...
Not there yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's a side quest. I thought it was part of the main quest.
Oh, okay.
So I got completely like turned around, and now like, oh no, it's just a side quest. And I was like, that was a really good side quest. I didn't see the side quest like that with story and arc and everything.
The Witcher 3 has some great side quests as well.
There's a lot of downloads for that game. Like, just all the DLC packs. That was
a lot of support.
Yeah, so it's really cool. I'm excited to play. Just finish it.
It's a long game. You'll be in there.
I like long games.
Yes.
So.
And what about you, Rich?
I've got 3 characters that I still have to get to level 20 on Injustice. So I'll finish that.
I hate your face.
Swamp Thing, Superman, and Supergirl.
I hate your face.
That's their max level.
3 characters? What the fuck, man?
What?
I'm only like halfway done.
You're playing like 15 other games. What do you want?
Give it like
and I guess I gotta finish Watch Dogs too. I haven't finished that completely because of all that DLC, but that's probably it. I'll probably find another game after that. I don't know for sure.
What game what would be the next game that you'd purchase day one that's coming out?
Agents of Mayhem.
That's August, right?
Yeah.
15th or 22nd? One of those? Yeah. Agents of Mayhem, because you're a big Saints Row.
Johnny got his back.
I will be playing Horizon. I didn't play very much during the past week. It was very busy. I think I only played it for a half hour. I wanted to show Sarah what it looked like. She played Farpoint for like 2 hours Friday night, so I got her back on. She's at the alien queen spider thing that she's on. She her learning curve is she just goes spray and pray. Just fucking goes in. And like, you can't do that. Like, you have to come back, recharge your gun. You have to reload and go back. No, she just keeps going. And so it took her some time to get used to it. She's scared. She got scared a little bit. So watch her play Farpoint. But then afterwards, I showed her Horizon. So I only played about a half hour, but I'm still excited for Horizon, and I've loved the game so far. So take a deeper dive in Horizon this week. And then those are the games that we'll be playing this week. And thank you for watching our episode of the PPVG Gamescast. Have a great week. And again, thank you for watching.